Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, mathematicians. I am going to spend a little bit of time talking about the calc function in our graphs. And I want to just remind folks, I did actually start talking about this on the graphing using the graphing calculator for the graphing of it. But I want to be real specific here. I want to make sure I am getting the calc menu completely taken care of as well. So this is a little, if you listen to the TI83 TI84 graphing, there's a little bit of redundancy here, but it's not such a bad thing. Alright, so I'm going to pick up where I left off here. I've got my y. I'm going to have my y equals x plus 10 is my first function. My second function is going to be x squared. So I want to go ahead and quit out of here. I'm going to go to my calc. So I'm going to have my second, and then I'm going to go up to calc, which is on my trace. And now I'm going to calculate, let's calculate our minimum. Let's see here. Alright, enter. So, left bound. Remember, this reads from left to right, and it's going to be looking for our place where it's going to switch. Now, I'm going to actually, remember, I'm on my the y values, the y. So this is actually my line. I don't want to be on my line. I want to be on the parabola. So I'm going to just do this. I'm going to use my up arrow to switch between the two. I'm going to hit enter, so I know that I have my left bound. And if you take a look, you'll be able to see here, there's an arrow, right? That's telling you, okay, this is where we're beginning to look. Now I'm going to go down and around. And I want to point out, you do not want to stop where you think the bottom is, because just because you think that the minimum or the maximum is there, it may not be. So you actually want to go past. It doesn't have to be very far past, but you do want to go past where you think your minimum or your maximum are. Otherwise, you might not get the actual answer. So for my right bound, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And it says, do you want to make a guess? I'm of the opinion that since we've purchased calculators and we've got our batteries, we don't need to worry about guessing. Just go ahead and hit enter. And if you take a look here, it says -1 to the, and it's going to have 5 zeros, so it's 0.000001. Alright, so this is a really small number. Alright, here I'm going to have just a little above the x-axis. I'm going to have 12 zeros or 11 zeros in front of my 1. So it's going to be 0.000000000001. So this is really small. This is useful to take a look at, though, to consider we're really close to 00, but this is not telling us the exact value. So if we want to double check that, I would say we can go ahead and put a 0 in for our x, and then hit enter, and you'll find that it's also 0. So the actual minimum is going to be 0, 0. It's calculating, and it's doing a really good job. I mean, we could see it was almost at 0, 0. But keep in mind that sometimes the calculator does a little bit of rounding, and it's going to give you some kind of, sometimes it will give you a slightly off answer. Just to be aware of that. Almost always it's going to be really close, though. Well, it will always be really close, assuming you've set it up properly. Alright, so let's go back to our calc. So second and calc. Let's go ahead and calculate a 0. Alright, so I'm going to go to number 2. And I am going to go I'm going to go back to my parabola. So there's my first one. It's my left bound, or my lower bound, depending on how you want to think about it. Here is my right bound, or my upper bound. And again, it's going to ask us for a guess. We don't really care. Go ahead and hit enter. And it takes a while. It's thinking. And it says there's no sign change. We don't actually cross over the x-axis, which is true. We don't. We bump into it, but we don't ever actually cross it. So there's no sign change, so it tells us that it doesn't ever cross our x-axis. So let's go back. We're going to go, I'm going to change it up just a little bit. This time we're going to use our line, which does cross. All right, so let's go here. And I'm going to change my values here. I'm going to change my window to be my x-min. I'm going to go -15, just so that it's a little easier to see where it crosses. All right, graph. So I'm going to go second and trace. This is going to give me my calc. I'm going to go with 0, which is my what it is I'm looking for. It's actually on number 2. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So our left bound, we need to be before it crosses my x-axis. In this case, it's going to be in the negative quadrant. We're going to be to the left of our y-axis and to the below our x-axis. I think I said that backwards. It's going to be to the left of our y-axis and below our x-axis. So now I'm definitely in that range. I can see I'm in the negative there and I'm in the negative there. So I'm going to hit enter. And so now it's asking me for the right bound. And remember, I want to go past it. I want to be sure I'm past it. Okay, so now I'm still in the negative side on my x's, which is fine, but I had my y changed value. So here we go. We don't care what the guess is. We're going to just go with it. So here it says our 0 is going to be at x equals -10, and our y is where it crosses at that height of 0. All right, so that's going to be our x-intercept, or what we would call a real solution, because it's on our number line.